What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out the most advanced robot vacuum and mop available on the market. There isn't anything remotely close to this product right here. So what we have here, it's called the eufy S1 Pro. Now of course this also comes with a docking station, but the docking station is a bit too big to have on my desk here. So the docking station is sitting where the robot vacuum is positioned, so that's why you don't see it next to me here. So what makes this robot vacuum so special? Well, a big part of that has to do with the way this robot vacuum washes the floors, because your traditional robot vacuum typically has two mop brushes at the bottom that spin. Well, this one does the floor washing in a different way. So what we have at the bottom here is a rolling mop, but this is special for a big reason. So while the rolling mop here is actually washing the floor, the rolling mop itself gets washed inside the robot vacuum. So inside here we actually have a water tank for clean water and another water tank for wastewater. So as the rolling mop picks up dirt from the floor, all that dirt actually gets washed inside the robot vacuum. So very different compared to your traditional robot vacuum that has those two spinning mops at the bottom. So the more traditional robot vacuum that has those two mop brushes at the bottom, if that vacuum goes over ketchup, over mayo, over a big mess on the floor, it will basically spread that on the floor till it goes back to the docking station to wash those mop brushes. Well, that is not the case with this one right here. So if this one goes over ketchup, over mayo, over milk, or whatever you can spill on the floor, basically all that will be caught inside the robot vacuum here, so there will not be a mess. Eventually this also goes back to the docking station and it will wash the mop here, but compared to a traditional robot vacuum, this one will not leave a mess on the floor. And I did try this with multiple things that I spilled on the floor, of course on purpose, and the floor was spotless every time. So the way this robot vacuum washes floors is quite impressive. So yeah, the mopping that we get from this robot vacuum out here is miles ahead compared to the competition. Now, since the rolling mop is also quite large, this is the replacement rolling mop that comes in the box. We'll talk about that in just a second. So this one also cleans a larger surface each time it goes over a surface. So the cleaning cycles are much faster than a traditional robot vacuum as well. This can also lift, so of course this is at the bottom of the vacuum here, this can also lift 12 millimeters. So if the vacuum goes over a carpet, that rolling mop will basically lift itself up. So as soon as the front of the vacuum hits carpet, that mop will lift up, so it will not get your carpets wet. So faster, better mopping than anything else available on the market. Now, with that being said, let me quickly show you what comes in the box, because otherwise I'll forget. So in the box, you're gonna get the second rolling mop. Of course, this can be removed. So the one at the bottom here can be removed. You can change it with this one. We basically have a little button on the side here. You push that and that's how this comes out. You're gonna find the second filter for this. We do have a little cleaning tool in here. You're gonna find a second dust bag. So inside the docking station, of course, there is a dust bag. You're gonna find the tank for the cleaning solution and two replacement side brushes. So the brushes that we have right here on the sides. So that's pretty much what you're gonna get inside the box. So this, of course, next to the user manual and all that. All right, so next we are talking about the docking station for the eufy S1 Pro. So first of all, the docking station is actually called the UniClean Station. The UniClean Station has a tank for clean water. I also love the fact that that's a clear tank, so you can easily see how much water you have in there. We also have a tank for wastewater, so basically all the dirty water that will come out from washing that mop goes in there. We have another smaller tank for a cleaning detergent or cleaning solution, however you wanna call it, and of course we have a dust bag in there. So inside the robot vacuum, of course, we have a dustbin, and all that dirt from the dustbin will actually be collected into the UniClean Station. So the vacuum does all this by itself. It will wash the mop at the bottom by itself, and it will also dry that mop at the bottom by itself whenever it's done a cleaning cycle. The UniClean Station also has a little screen that will show you what the vacuum is doing and the progress bar as well. So for example, if it's drying the mop at the bottom, it will show you a little bar to see how long it has till it's done drying that mop. So it's nice to have that because you kind of know exactly what the vacuum is doing. You can start a cleaning cycle from there, you can stop a cleaning cycle, and so on. Now, the UniClean Station also generates ozone sterilized water, and it will mix the water with that cleaning solution that you have. So that's in this little tank out here. So it does that automatically. You don't actually have to do anything yourself. You just have to empty that wastewater container every so often, and of course fill up that clean water tank every so often. Alright, next we are taking a quick look at the robot vacuum itself. So compared to other eufy vacs that I've tried in the past, of course, the first thing I've noticed is the fact that we don't have the LiDAR navigation system at the top here like previous models. So now that's actually inside here. So it is repositioned, it is smaller. That means that we have a lower profile, and we also get a more rectangle-like shape, I'm gonna say. So the vacuum can easier go into narrower spaces. It will actually calculate if it can come out from a space before it goes in. So it is very, very advanced. Now on the front here we have kind of like a traditional bumper. However, I haven't seen this vacuum bumping into anything anymore. And on the front here we have a variety of sensors. They call this the 3D Matrix Eye. So this is basically an RGB plus active binocular infrared camera combined. So it combines everything into one package. It will basically not run over anything that you have on the floor. So the obstacle avoidance on this robot vacuum is exceptionally good. Doesn't even go over cables, so I can pretty much leave anything I want on the floor. The vacuum will not go over anything. It will map your house, of course, so it knows exactly where it has to go. It knows exactly where it's been. And of course, it will know how to go back to the docking station to charge if it does need recharging while on a cleaning cycle. But basically with this system that they're using, the vacuum will never get lost, it will never get stuck, it will not fall down the stairs. Moving to the top here, so the top cover here is removable. You basically pull it like this. We have the dustbin right here. You can also remove this. You can take out the dust filter from here and clean it. As I said, there is one that comes in the box. It's very easy to do. And the vacuum will empty this itself out into the docking station. Basically, moving to the back here. So on the back here, we have the contacts where the vacuum will basically charge. And on the back here, we have a couple of red buttons. And if you push those, you can remove the wastewater tank basically for the vacuum. So all the dirty water that gets cleaned from that rolling mop ends up in here. On this side here, we can actually remove this filter. Every so often you will have to wash this depending what the vacuum is cleaning, of course. So you basically wash this and then you can put it back. And that rolling brush, rolling mop can also be removed if you want to replace it, for example, because we have a replacement unit, if you want to hand wash it or anything like that. And of course, you can put this back right here, if I manage to do that on camera, and then it kind of locks in place. So at the bottom here, of course, we have even more sensors. As I mentioned earlier, as soon as the vacuum goes over carpet, it will lift up that rolling mop. So that lifts up 12 millimeters, so it will not mop your carpets in any circumstances. So that's a good thing because your carpets aren't gonna be wet. Then we have the main brush right here in the center. This is made out of rubber. So nice and simple if you want to replace it or remove it to clean it. And then we have the side brushes here, and there are two replacement side brushes that come in the box. So even though it looks simple on the outside, there is a lot of technology packed inside here. Now the suction power from this robot vacuum is also quite impressive. So 8000 PA suction power. So whenever the vacuum goes over hard floors, over carpets, over any surface, really it will pick up anything from the floor on the first run because there is an insane amount of suction power. Now, of course, you can also adjust the suction power from the app. So you can have like a lower level suction power or the max suction power, depending on the situation, on the floors that you have. You can also select from the app how wet or how dry the mopping should be. So if you have tiles, for example, you can probably use it at the maximum wetness level. But if you have hardwood floors, maybe you wanna lower that wetness level. So it really depends on the situation and your home, of course. And since I briefly talked about how you can customize the suction power or the wetness level for the rolling mop, I might as well talk about the app briefly. So the app gives you total access to changing pretty much everything about the cleaning experience. So for example, you can set schedules, the vacuum can do everything when you're not at home. You can even move furniture if you want, the vacuum will just go around everything. So it's very smart at figuring things out. If you leave something on the floor, as I mentioned earlier, nothing will happen. It will just go around whatever you leave on the floor. So if there are like toys, cables, shoes, or whatever there may be on the floor, it will basically go around it. Everything else is customizable. If you want the vacuum not to go in a certain room or certain area of the house, you can just make like a do not go zone. You can just send it to clean a certain area in the house or a certain room in the house or whatever. So everything is customizable from the app. The vacuum will also get software updates from there. So it will also get better with time, with new features through software updates. So the app is very well organized, let's call it. Everything is customizable from the app. As for my overall experience with this cleaning machine, let's call it, this is by far the best one that I have ever had up until now. And I've had a lot of robot vacuums up until now. What I love the most about this is the way it mops the floor. The floors are cleaner than ever because of that self-cleaning rolling mop. Not to mention this is larger than most vacuums out there. So it only has to go over one area once because it covers so much more ground. So I've also noticed that this is much faster at finishing a cleaning cycle than any other robot vacuum that I've tried in the past. So very important, because if you're home, you don't want the vacuum to take hours to clean. This is much faster than most vacuums out there. A lot of suction power, and I also love the fact that I don't really need to clean anything from the floor. I typically say in most videos you kind of have to clean the floor. Well, with this vacuum, I haven't actually had to clean the floor of anything. It does really well by itself. It avoids anything that I leave on the floor. Insane suction power. So I am very happy with this vacuum. And I honestly don't know what other vacuum I could get that could ever replace this one. It's that good. As always, I'll leave some links in the video's description so you can check this out. If there is any relevant information, I will list that in the video's description as well. If you do have any questions about this robot vacuum, definitely leave a comment down below and I'll try to answer any questions that you may have. But overall, if you're looking for the most advanced robot vacuum out there, where there is nothing that comes even close to this, definitely check this one out. It is by far the best robot vacuum and mop that I got to try. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.